right now we have like 190 responses, which I thought was pretty great, considering I think the last one was 130. So
good community.
yeah, I mean, we had, they weren't super thrilled about our last survey questions, but I told them, I said, it's like how we answer it tells us either for or against. It doesn't matter. It's not, they weren't meant to a certain way. I got pens right here.
She
Dave.
just asked
I just
if anybody
asked
needed a
them.
pen.
I got you covered. Do you need glasses?
No.
Okay, because you can have my pink ones. All right. There you go, sir. All right, so good evening. We are here for the November 4th, 2025, December 4th, 2025 Comprehensive Plan Committee meeting. There was not an agenda because tonight is the meeting we're having with Southern Maine Planning. Thank you for being here, ladies. We're going to do roll call of who is present tonight from my left to right.
Don Hernan, 33 Murphy's Way.
Tom Hatch, Frost Road.
Michelle Felicetti, Red Brook Drive.
Dave Alves, Island Way.
And our town manager is with us here this evening. Thank you, Lindsay, for attending. And this is going to be a fun one, I think. And so without further ado, I just will say we did get some results in of our survey that's been out, survey number 3. We have 190 people that have responded. Those results will be available shortly. We're going to let the survey run a couple more weeks to see if we can get some more input. We do have one for the committee to review till the finality closing the survey happens. So we do have that, and Southern Maine Planning has that to look at right now. But without further ado, I am going to let you ladies take it away.
Awesome, thank you. Well, I think I've met everyone here before, but it was a while ago now. I'm Michaela Gordon. I'm a senior planner at SMPDC.
And I'm Linnea Cordero. I'm a planner at SMPDC as well, and I also do the majority of our GIS mapping work.
And so the first thing is we actually want to turn it back over to Michelle briefly to talk about the committee's interpretation of the last 2 surveys. So we've looked them over ourselves and incorporated some of those points and kind of trends that we noticed into an activity we'll do with you later tonight. But we also kind of wanted to gut check that with you all and see kind of what your big takeaways were from those surveys and have that kind of just help frame the discussion tonight.
Do you want me to start off or?
Go ahead.
Go.
So you guys chime in if you feel any differently. I think from what I've seen from all 3 surveys, even like peeking at this briefly for 5 minutes before I came here tonight, it's really hard because I think we have a mix. We have a mix of what people want and it conflicts with other wants. So people don't want higher taxes, but then they want sidewalks. They want improvements to town, but they don't want their taxes to go up. So I don't think in general anyone ever wants their taxes to go up because that is difficult. And I think overall, from what I've seen of the surveys too, people are concerned about having places for our elderly to age in place and having, either elder housing or places ways to help them stay in their homes here, because it is difficult with the raising of taxes as services become more expensive. Whether we even improve the town, salaries go up, the fire department goes up, cost of goods goes up, taxes are going to go up even if the town did nothing. I think we have a very line of people who want growth and don't want growth. It's a mix. I think this one I found more, like looking through this, there was ones quickly that didn't want growth, but then further on, there was a lot that wanted more flexibility with their land. So I was noticing that in this survey really quickly. It's been a mix, again, of whether people want growth or don't, or what kind of growth they do or don't want, but also the state has taken some of those things out of our hands by requiring certain things, certain ways things need to go, so I think that's where I'm seeing the difference. Like even like with how things are set out in town, the state is now requiring us to do things that maybe we didn't want to do, but now we're going to have to, or allow things that we don't have in town. So that's my kind of purview on it, is we still have a fine line of those that do and don't want. I personally think more lean towards not a lot of growth. They want to remind a bedroom community. We don't want to be Biddeford or Sanford or Saco or Scarborough. We all love our small community and our land, but then protection of owners' rights as well is something that's important. So Does anyone think differently or have another purview?
I just think there's a lot of, let me say, I'm trying to say this nicely, a lot of pie in the sky stuff here because, I mean, for example, where did I read something? There was something in there about putting sidewalks along 35 or something. I
Yeah,
mean, that's, to me, that's just not feasible from a financial point of view.
correct.
And the tax situation is gonna hurt a lot because you can't do anything without having the money to do it. And the other thing that bugs the heck out of me is that there seems to be no planning on a county-wide basis. So we're doing our stuff for our 4,400 people town, which we're trying to do a good job. And I give Michelle, everybody a lot of credit, Lindsay, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we're 4,400 people. We're surrounded by other towns. The state's doing nothing except put out rules and regulations. So it's very frustrating to me because
Agreed.
I know this not, don't take this the wrong way. Maybe you can if you want to, but doing the comprehensive plan in great and glorious detail, I think is a good idea to a point, but where the rubber meets the road is the zoning. And that can't happen until this goes through. So I see an impasse here in getting this through in a reasonable manner
Right.
without going into extreme detail. And I guess I don't know how to say this very well because it seems like we're doing the same thing every other town is doing to some extent. Maybe some are doing it more or, in a more detail because they have more resources. Maybe some are doing nothing. I don't know. I can't keep up with other towns.
Well,
But it's just frustrating to me to see where we are and just see how far we got to go here. And I don't know, the surveys are good, they're getting information, but, this is gonna,
I think like,
Drag out.
like
So
we
it's my
have here on the
frustration.
table, we have LD 427 and 1829. These were things that weren't even on the table when we started this. So
Yeah.
that's what I mean by the impact of what the state is now putting out there that then we go, oh nuts. And it's another cog in the wheel, which is why, again, we've been at this almost 2 years.
yeah,
It's tiring. We're all a little drained, I think, feeling drained because, you have the pressure of both sides of the line of growth or not growth. Both can be a little,
well, I think we need growth. I'm not
tumultuous.
anti-growth.
No,
By any
exactly.
means.
But a lot of people are, and they, so how loud, it depends, but I said, every town needs growth so we don't die and all that. So I think Don's right. I think it's the fact that, our town is different, like we don't have farmland. So it's different. So we don't have oceanfront. So that's where, again, we do different from other
No.
towns. And that's where I'm focusing on is our niche things that we have a lot of gravel pits. So lots of gravel. So that's what I look at. It's just that the lay of our land is different. The type of soils we have is different is how I look at it. But I think we are like a lot of the communities surrounding us that they do want to keep that neighborly wooded effect around them and nature preserve and walking trails and things like that. And sidewalks would be lovely down 35 someday. I don't know if it's within 10 years or more like 20 or 30.
So
Yeah.
I have one thing to say about that was, because I've been working with the York County Soil and Water Conservation, and I think I met with somebody from SMPDC. If you guys have a village district, there are village district partnerships that you can apply for to
Oh,
get
nice.
things like sidewalks.
That would be cool then if it could
so
be afforded, not
that was-
without taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, that was part of like the climate resiliency thing I've been working on to, it's not all just about climate change, but it's like, it could help improve things like walkability.
Mhm.
And I put on that survey that I did that Michelle and you guys helped me with was that you guys were working on this. So like, I don't know, maybe you guys can speak more to it of like how those zoning districts can sometimes play into getting things like sidewalks or getting things like grants or getting
Yeah.
into things. Because we don't have a village district,
Mhm.
but
Right.
if we had one, then I
And
could
which would be lovely.
certainly look into things like sidewalks or streetlights or
Because it would be nice to start somewhere where you have a village district where someday there are going to be sidewalks for people to congregate in a little park or something like that.
Yeah.
Because right now we are pretty here, there, and everywhere with our buildings and our, what little we do have to do here in town.
And that brings up a point that I wanted to make, which is that even if the state didn't pass these new legislative changes. The town cannot control whether or not growth happens. You can simply guide how growth happens because you don't own all the property, right? So the question that I really want to focus on with you all here, and especially when we get into like future land use discussions, is not do we grow or not, but how does growth that is going to happen, how do we direct that growth to be the way that is most appealing to us and keep growth from happening that is in the like least appealing places for us. So I want to try and focus on that discussion more.
Yep.
Because I think it ends up being more productive in the long term and
Yep.
can help us craft really specific strategies. And I think that's one piece, right, where the public education is really hard
Right.
because people often think, oh, well, if we just make our minimum lot sizes really big, that means we won't grow. It's like, well, no, what it means is you'll either have folks with a ton of money, developers who are like large scale developers who, you know, can buy up a lot of land and do a planned unit development and put in like a big subdivision, maybe out near environmentally sensitive areas where you wouldn't want to see a lot of
Right.
development. Or you see the town having to spend a lot more money maintaining roads and utilities and things to cover every corner of the community instead of if, you know, you take those same number of units and concentrate them a little bit more. It's generally less expensive for the town and protects more of that open space that's so valuable for rural communities. So it'll be fun discussions to get into. But with that, I would love to switch to the SWOT exercise. Have any of you done a SWOT exercise before? Anyone? No? Okay. They're pretty fun. It stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats.
Oh,
And it's,
Do
yeah,
you know this?
it's a
You're an
great
expert.
way.
no. Not a fan either.
It's kind of a great way to combine, right? We have like the scientific data and the population data, the hard data.
Yeah.
Then we have the public surveys and the public comments. The SWOT is almost a meshing of the two. So we're considering what we've learned from the surveys. We're considering what you all know as residents and as people who are really involved in the community. We're also considering, you know, as committee members, the work that you've put in and the data that you've looked at, like from the data packets we sent, for example. So it's combining all those different pieces and trying to streamline them into, okay, what are Lyman's strengths? What are we good at? What is going for us? What do we love about our community? What are our weaknesses? What are things that aren't going so well, right? Opportunities, what might we be able to improve? And threats, what is potentially going to harm the way of life or the community that we want here. And so we brainstormed a list for the SWOT already, which you guys have probably received. I think it's in your packet behind the agenda.
I can take them out.
No worries if you haven't looked at it yet. The purpose of tonight is for us to make sure that this list is what you all want it to be. So if there are things we got wrong, we cross them off. If there are things you want to add to, we add them. It's, you know, a lot of it is interpreted. So if we interpreted something wrong from the surveys or from we scanned the website and looked at like what, you know, community activities and organizations you have and included those. So we can go through that, and then the idea is to take the SWOT analysis and turn those into actions. And so the second part is the APAE, which stands for Achieve, Preserve, Avoid, or Eliminate. So basically it's just, translating all the things we come up with in the SWOT to an action that we could take. And from there, this is basically what we call like a needs assessment, which is part of the new state law on comp planning, is you have to do a needs assessment. So in addition to the data gathering, this is kind of like how we're and analyzing that data to understand what Lyman's needs are in relation to that data. So that's the goal in the plan for about 45 minutes or so. And then we want to try and tie that into the draft vision statement that you all have, and also do some like initial visioning mapping exercises.
Okay.
So,
All
that's the
right.
plan. We have the SWOT written largely up here, but we're kind of far from you all, but
It's right in here.
you can shout stuff out and then we'll write it down. Some examples that we took from the first survey was people and neighbors. People really love their relationships that they've made in Lyman, so we put that as a strength. We also put quality of life as a strength. We saw that in the second survey and in the, what did I say AFL stand for? Oh, the age-friendly Lyman survey I also looked at, and quality of life was mentioned there. And then some weaknesses I observed, some people feel excluded from what they called small town politics in a couple places. So that was something I put under survey 1. It's also important to note that, right, some of these are reality and some is perception, but they can both impact if it's a strength or a weakness. Opportunities, more kid-friendly and family-friendly activities was something we noted. That came from survey 1. And then a threat that was noted in survey 2 was sprawled or uncontrolled development. So those are some examples. I figured we could just do popcorn style and you could shout things out as a strength, a weakness, an opportunity or threat, and we could go from there.
Like the ones from the list you have here or more?
More, whatever.
Oh, geez.
if-
No,
Or if any of
more.
these seem
More?
inaccurate, or if they could be worded differently or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think one thing that, we already have it on there is the Goodwin Mills Fires and Rescue. That's one thing people are really proud of and the hard work that they do for the town.
You mean under strengths?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said I was gonna say Goodwin Mills, but it's on the list of strengths.
Yeah.
I guess just for the viewer, I'm gonna read the strengths off, so since they're not here to see it. So the strengths are people and neighbors, library and its activities, low tax rate and stable taxes, newsletter, the Lyman Connection, quality of life, relative location access is one of them, where they list ocean, employment centers, shopping areas, medical centers, quiet, peaceful, rural, small town atmosphere, the woods, the ponds, and the waterfronts. Minimal services because that keeps town expenses low. And these are all, again, these strengths that I'm listing out, they have S1 or S2. These are from the surveys that have been collected. So again, if anyone wants to look this up online, it'll get posted when we can, just so you understand what these mean. Food waste diversion program, new town manager and the new staff projects, and Goodwin Mills Fire and Rescue.
What is the food waste diversion? Is that,
That's the program that's going to be launching at the transfer
Equally.
station that will hopefully save the town if people start participating. It's where you're taking your wet goods out of your trash.
right?
And you put it, so it could potentially, with the numbers, if everyone starts participating, save the town $60,000 a year on tipping fees. Because it'd be
So-
recycled.
Composting food.
It's composting
basically.
food. It's like even like leftover chicken now. So instead of like when you compost at home and you're only supposed to have
Right.
veggie and you're
So
very careful at home, this is like everything. If
You're
it's
putting-
wet,
Let me rephrase. You're putting edible garbage in a separate container?
yes,
Yes.
and bringing it to the transfer station. They give you a little bucket and you can put it in a 5-gallon pail that you can keep outside. And then there'll be a trailer at the transfer station that'll be manned.
Is that in progress now?
It's the grant has been
Yeah, so we have to update the
Yeah.
transfer station license so that we can include that in
Yeah.
there. So that's being reviewed by DEP right now.
Yep.
Oh,
So that's what we're waiting for.
I'm sorry, so are you saying they're not accepting waste now, or they are?
No, there will be soon. As soon as DEP gives the go, the grant has, everything has been purchased that is needed to make it happen.
Didn't this happen once before? It seems like I have a bucket at home or something that I got from a long time ago from transfer station. They had a couple of these dark compost things you could buy, or you could,
No, that was just that you can get compost material for your garden years ago.
I swear I got one for them.
I don't know. I don't remember that one. That might
Well, I'm
have been
sorry.
moons ago.
It might have been in my memory. It might have been 20 years ago, too.
True story.
Okay, thank you. What else? So we talking about strengths now or what?
Yeah.
What are
Yeah,
we doing here?
strengths. I mean, I think you kind of,
No,
you kind of hit everything that I
can't
can think of,
No.
Yeah.
for strengths.
Yeah.
What do you feel about volunteer capacity in the town as
I think it's low.
volunteers? Feel it's low.
Yeah.
What about weaknesses? Do you want to read those in?
So weaknesses, I mean, definitely our lack of volunteers, if that's not on there. I'll read these again out loud so everyone can hear it. The weaknesses are listed as small town politics / feeling excluded, lack of trails, family-friendly infrastructure like sidewalks and playgrounds, lack of housing options,